Just 3 days. I was 10 years old. I had come from an international school into a completely new environment, a Gurukul, a traditional Indian school where morals and discipline are highly valued. The faces felt unfamiliar and the way of learning was completely different. And then, on the very first day, I walked into a Sanskrit class, sat there for 1 hour, and understood absolutely nothing. The teacher was speaking in Sanskrit, the students were replying in Sanskrit, and everyone seemed to understand, except me. I still remember sitting there, thinking, what am I even doing here? So, after just 3 days, I went home and said, I can't do this. I don't understand anything. And honestly, it didn't feel like a choice, it felt like a fact. But my parents didn't let me quit that easily. They told me to give it some more time. So, I went back. But this time, I didn't try to understand everything. I just focused on small things, like paying attention to the teacher, staying back after class, clarifying doubts, even if they were very basic. Slowly, things started making sense. Not immediately, not easily, but gradually. And in about just 3 months, I caught up with those students who had been learning Sanskrit for over 2 years. That shouldn't have been possible logically, at least that's what I thought. Looking back now, I realized something. That moment when I said, I can't do this, was not my limit. It was just the first time things started to get difficult for me. I also saw this while beginning Taekwondo. I wanted to quit in just 2 classes because my legs felt heavy and I couldn't punch hard enough. But I kept showing up. And then, gradually, my kicking and punching significantly improved. I also remember this clearly while holding a plank. I was holding a plank and just 40 seconds in, the shaking started. My core muscles were burning and a voice in my head was saying, stop. That's enough for one day. That day, I listened to that voice and stopped. But then, the very next day, I tried again, the same exercise. And at 40 seconds, the exact same feeling, the shaking, the burning, the voice in my head constantly repeating, stop. But this time, I did not listen to that voice and held on just for a few more seconds. And then, something strange happened. Nothing bad happened. I didn't collapse. I just continued. These moments stayed on with me because they made me question something I had never thought of before. If I can't continue even after I feel like I can't, then what was that feeling? Was that ever my limit? I later found out there's actually a reason for this. Your brain is designed to protect you. It wants to keep you safe and away from stress. In fact, there's something known as the 40% rule, developed by Navy SEAL David Goggins. It suggests that when you feel like you're at your absolute capacity, you're only at 40% of what you're truly capable of. That remaining 60%, that's where the growth happens. You stop long before you actually hit a wall. That means that the moment where you feel like giving up might not be a limit at all. It might just be your brain trying to protect you. And this isn't just something that happens between you and me. It's happened on a much bigger level too. For almost 100 years, running a mile in under 4 minutes was considered impossible. Doctors, coaches, scientists, athletes, everyone believed that the human body simply couldn't do it. But then, Roger Bannister, he did it. He broke the 4-minute mile. And what's crazy is what happens next. Just 23 days later, John Landy did it too. And till date, over 1,500 athletes have done the same. Something very similar happened in aviation. For a very long time, flying faster than the speed of sound was considered impossible. Everyone believed that the plane would disintegrate at such a high speed. But then, in 1947, Chuck Yeager flew slightly faster than the speed of sound. And the plane didn't crash. He just continued. And today, we've gone beyond 9 times the speed of sound. So every impossible thing we talked about needed only one person to prove it wrong. We always wait for someone else to go first. But what if this time that someone is you? And I've seen this not just in the world, but in my own life too. I've gone through a ton of changes. I've switched from IB to a Gurukul system, then to an Indian Educational Board, and then back to IB again. I've moved countries. My routine has changed. My lifestyle has changed. Even the culture around me has changed. And honestly, in those moments, I felt like I wouldn't be able to adapt. It was very easy to say, I can't do this. But now, looking back, I realized that I could. And if I could, then so can all of you. Because I didn't suddenly become a different person overnight. I adapted gradually, step by step. I made new friends, learned new languages, adjusted to new systems and curriculums. And what once felt impossible now feels normal. But that does not mean that the feeling went away. I felt it as I was preparing for the World Scholars Cup. I hadn't even competed yet, but looking at that massive syllabus and the global competition, that old voice came back. It was whispering, you can't do this. This is your limit. But I did not believe in that voice because I realized that it was just a 40% signal. When I competed in the competition, I wasn't there to see how smart I am. I was there to see how much further I could push my limit because I realized that my limit isn't a fixed point. It moves. And now I'm standing here, talking to all of you, happy, content, and thankful. And honestly, I feel grateful. Grateful for those environments that pushed me out of my comfort zone. Grateful for that inner voice that did not let me quit early. And grateful for my parents and teachers who supported me through all of this. Because without those uncomfortable moments, I wouldn't have grown into what I am now. So maybe the problem isn't that we lack potential. Maybe we just stopped too early, like I did in that Sanskrit class, like I almost did during Taekwondo, like I still do sometimes while studying. Those were not my limits. They were just points when my brain told me to stop. And I think that a lot of us do that more than we actually realize. We stop when it gets uncomfortable. We stop when it gets difficult. And we call that a limit. But what if it's not? What if that point, the one where you feel like stopping, is actually just the beginning of what you're truly capable of? So, I just want to leave you with this. The next time you feel like stopping, don't. Stay on for one more second. Solve that one more question. Take that one more step. And then ask yourself, if that wasn't my limit, then what is? Thank you.